Paris. So I'm living in Paris for 3 months to do Ferrandi's intensive professional program. I'm doing the one specializing in bread making and viennoiseries. So I want to take you through a week in my life just so that you can see what the program is like and what the day-to-day looks like, just in case you're considering doing this program or one similar. Good morning. Hey, it's 6:30. This is the time I have to get to school because I have to get dressed and get my station completely ready because chef wants us to start at 7 a.m. on the dot. And I have a long commute, so I wake up at like 5 every single day. But let me take you through not only today, but we're gonna go through the whole week. How exciting. We have a really exciting road trip planned for Friday. So Mondays are usually pretty prep heavy. So this means that our entire group is going to measure out all of our ingredients for whatever dough we're making that day. Usually it's about like 3 different types of doughs, and we're experimenting with things like a brioche or a sourdough or just different techniques like a poulish or a sponge, just a bunch of different stuff. And then we're gonna put it all into the big commercial mixers, and then between our group we make sure that the gluten networks are well enough developed to be able to take it out of the mixer. We gotta get it to 111. The chef will do a demonstration on how he does something, or maybe he'll do a demonstration on making some sort of filling that we're going to be using later in that day. More.
At the beginning I will use this one, and after I will transform in the flour that I need. And you will
put it into the big tubs. Usually we'll do some sort of like folding. The chef will do a demonstration on how he shapes, on how he does something. And then we'll go do something else while we're waiting for it to rest. YouTube vlog. Because I want to get the champagne trip in the YouTube vlog. No pressure. First break of the day done. Back in we go. Look at the little courtyard. From 7 a.m. to 1 p.m. we're baking, and we do get a 15-minute break in between where we have a special little lounge for only the international students. Okay, so we finished lunch and now we have French class.
Yes.
Oui. And then some days we have actual physical classes. So today we actually had French class. See the sign. Oh my goodness, we're here. Uniform is on. Happy Tuesday. After putting my uniform on, I was heading over upstairs to the lab so that we could start with our brioche. So we were shaping brioche in all kinds of different forms. So we put some balls in this loaf pan. Some of them we put into these like scalloped loaf pans. And after we put together all of the brioche, we went ahead and did some baguette shaping, which I'm still getting the hang of. I think baguette shaping was the thing that took me the longest to actually feel confident with. But once you get a hang of something with baking, then it just really becomes muscle memory. And having a chef there to guide you through it and give you like step-by-step instructions as to how you can do it better is a game changer. Better than last time?
Yeah, better. But do be careful, because this party was too big.
It was too thick.
Remember, the hand can be a little smaller than the center, but no inverse.
Ah,
Okay?
merci.
Done.
We also did rustic baguettes, so these are whole wheat, and then instead of shaping it like a regular baguette to make it the rustic style, all we did was twist them around, which I really liked because it was way easier to do than the traditional shaping. But they also come out really cool because you kind of cover it with the flour and you twist it. So I really like that shape.
Yeah, some bakers do in two parts, but this is a traditional one.
We did some egg wash on top of the braided brioche and popped it in the oven. You can see it came out looking great. She's delicious. And we also added some sugar on top of the braided brioche to make it visually more interesting and have a little crunch when you bite into it as well. Okay, earned my freedom. I am like beyond exhausted right now. You can see it in my face. Hello, happy Wednesday. So I wanted to show you guys here what I mean by setting up your tools and your station. So we do have this big toolkit that you get as part of your course at Ferrandi. We take out everything that we think we're gonna need for that day, things including like knives, spoons, spatulas, whisks, things like that. I always put it in a big tray, and then we use our D10, which is just a disinfecting spray. We let that sit for a few minutes, and then we take that to the sink and we rinse everything off really well with really hot water, and then we go ahead and dry everything. So we make sure our entire surface and working station is clean. We clean it with the D10 as well. So just doing the single and the double turn is kind of hard, but then you actually have to shape the croissants or the pain au chocolat. So in this case, we were doing the pain au chocolat, so we want to start out with that really nice rectangle that I got out of the dough sheeter. And then I have to use the ruler to make sure that all of the squares, well, actually they're rectangles, all the rectangles come out perfectly. Here's the pre-ferment, yeast. Here's Maddie. Get it, Penny? You're in the vlog. Beautiful. And then you do 2 chocolate sticks inside of each pain au chocolat. And I asked chef, like, hey, why don't you ever do like 3 or 4, because I feel like people would prefer to have more chocolate inside of their pain au chocolats. And he was saying basically it just comes down to that's too expensive, because the chocolate sticks are surprisingly expensive, and then you would have to sell them for way more money than anybody would want to like purchase them for. After the pain au chocolats, we were just pre-shaping some dough. One of them was a traditional dough, and then the other one had walnuts and cranberries in it, and we were shaping them into these tight boules, or the circular shapes. After we turned them into the boules with the pre-shaping, they were sitting on the counter for a little bit, and then we went in for the final shape, which was essentially like a mini baguette. We didn't want to stretch them out and make them too long, but we did want to just kind of close them in on each other to create some tension. Currently hiding in the bathroom because I got a nosebleed. This is the true glamour. At least her outfit's cute. Look at her. Oh, God. At least it didn't get all over my dough. That would have been bad. Using the dough sheeter is honestly a lifesaver, because chef explains it as a big rolling pin that does all the work for you. So everything that you see going in and out of this machine, we would have had to do it ourselves. We're using our own body weight and using a lot of our muscles and strength, but instead we get a machine to just do it all for us. And that's one of the wonderful things about being in this like professional space, is you get to use all this fancy machinery that makes everything so much more efficient and just like easy on your body as well. And then Wednesday, we did all of our baking until 1, and then we had lunch 1 to 2 as usual, and then we had our boulangerie class. So this is a class that we have with chef for about 2 hours at the end of the day, where he tries to keep it pretty interactive. So we do some quizzes, some PowerPoint, and then some group activities as well. Hello. Okay, so I got to school at 6:30 this morning, and it's now 5, and I'm just now leaving. So we had that really long class all about different types of fermentation, sourdough versus poolish versus sponge, and a bunch of stuff like that. And then we had the program director actually come and talk to us about internships, different opportunities, and like different things to expect. So definitely a longer day than usual. But I will see you tomorrow for Thursday. On Thursday, we have to finish up everything that we started on the day before. So, for example, the pain au chocolats, we're proofing in the big proofing chamber overnight. We had to do some quick egg wash on top. Chef?
Yes?
Why did this happen, where it kind of comes out in the middle?
Sorry?
Why did that happen, where it kind of comes out in the middle? Was it like not rolled well enough?
No, it's okay.
And stick the pain au chocolats in the oven. And then we did our normal like mini baguettes, and then the walnut cranberry mini baguettes as well.
Okay, donc we dust flour for make the contrast, because we have added a little whole wheat. Donc he bring a little brown color. Like this we have a nice contrast, and like the rye bread we made last weekend.
And we had to finish shaping some stuff from the day before. And one of the best parts is getting to cut everything open, see how well you did, see what the crumb structure looks like, and then obviously eating it all. I think they look nice. Ah, it's hot. Yay! I'm really happy with these. Really cute. This was the hand-kneaded rustic bread. For a lot of these, because it's our first time making something like this, we like to leave it on our stations, and the chef will come around and kind of give us feedback or critique or let us know what we could do better. So sometimes he'll look at it and he can tell that maybe our shaping was a little bit funky, maybe one side was bigger than the other or something like that. And then other times he'll have us slice one of them open so he can really get a good look at the crumb structure. And then it's crazy how just by looking at something he can tell you, like, oh, you didn't shape it tightly enough, or you didn't do this well, or it fermented for too long or not long enough. It's just so cool how he has that like level of precision just by looking at something. This is the one with the walnuts. Does she jiggle? No. Not really. It can. Oh, it can, yeah. That's nice. Alright, it's the last day of the week. On Friday was really exciting. The entire international program, so culinary, pastry, and boulangerie, we all got into this giant double-decker bus and we drove 2.5 hours out to Champagne, France, and we did a tour of the champagne factory.
Mine just that is on 5 departments. So, why was this cooperative created in the first place?
Let's go! Cool. Where is it? There it is, at the Champagne Factory. Yeah, say hi. We're having fun. We're about to get drunk. And then we can see the views, the champagne trucks. I'm gonna take the big tour.
Yeah, that's
I'm
really,
gonna
it's
get
like
this.
just something to do.
Look how cute. It's funny because I don't even drink alcohol, but I'm here for the vibes, and apparently we get lunch and everything. And oh, it's not just us, like the bread making class, it's also the cuisine people and all the pastry people. So it's like 30, almost 40 people in total, and like all of our chefs slash professors too. Yay! We started out by getting a beautiful tour of the ins and outs of how a winery works. So we got to see all of the giant chambers where they keep everything, how the entire process moves along.
Are you recording?
Yeah. Why? Ready?
Because I want to put my face in it.
But we're against the light. We gotta look pretty this way. Okay, how are you feeling about today?
A little disappointed in the loss. I wanted to come from behind victory, but instead
okay.
I'm just gonna drink chef's champagne.
We're gonna get fucking drunk, sleep the entire way back, and she's slurping already.
In the rivers, and they were planning to invest in the facilities for the production.
We got to see the behind the scenes of how everything works, and we got to learn kind of the behind the scenes of their entire business model. So they get their grapes from farmers who grew them, and then everything is taken into a plant and then processed. It smells like wine.
You can see palette, 1,000 bottles per hour.
We also had some cool videos that they showed us as well, going through everything, because on Friday, I think they explained to us that a lot of their employees weren't working. And so instead of actually showing us how things are bottled, for example, they showed us a video instead of what we would have seen if people were working that day.
But we changed everything in 1 month.
Just tell the vlog your review.
Really good.
Good stuff. Try to. Cheers. It's funny because I don't drink, but I'll just have a little sip just to try it. Oh, and then my favorite part was probably like near the end of the tour where you can actually see the yeast inside of the bottles and how they have this really interesting technique of like turning bottles a specific way to make them ferment, and then how they have these like giant chambers of just like bottles, thousands of bottles stacked on top of each other that are sitting there fermenting, waiting to turn into really good wine. And they were explaining to us a lot of the parallels between like fermentation and yeast that is used in wine that is also used in bread. Okay, we've gotten to the cheese portion of the evening. My favorite part.
Can you call your teachers?
No, go for it. I think it's a vibe that everyone's grabbing. Okay, in real forms for the group photo. Everybody's lining up. We're getting ready. Okay, that's that. Goodbye vineyard, goodbye wine tasting, and we're done for the week. Okay, that's it. I really hope that you enjoyed seeing an entire week at Ferrandi, baking a lot of stuff, learning a ton, and going on a little road trip to Champagne. Don't forget to like and subscribe.